Welcome back to Off the Record with me, Divya Singaravelu. Today, I am in conversation with Professor Bala V. Balachandran. And before we went on the break, you were just telling me on how, we criticize the Indian government to be very slow acting. But then in the case of Satyam, that we were just discussing about, they finished everything in 90 days.
Unbelievably right. You are right. See, for example, that is why it has to be propagated. A lot of people say India is like an elephant. It doesn't even get up. Even gets up, it doesn't move. Whereas in this case of Satyam, we did such a thing in 92 days. The whole Satyam episode has been handled and a new board with Deepak Parakh as head has been created and then put confidence in the minds of the customers and resurrected with Mahendra Satyam. Whereas 2.5 years later in United States, still the case is not clear and nobody has been convicted excepting this anti-fasto, and that is still there. Now who is slow, who is fast? So we are always told that India is inefficient, whereas US is efficient. Not so. Let the facts speak. So that was done because the imagination of the minister to take some serious risks and do what is good for the country, and with support by people like me to identify what exactly is the right thing to do, and we did that. So I think these things have to be exhibited and compared. Hey, let us understand the facts.
So talking about being fast, being efficient, and about your new concept of money value of time, you are the founder, or you are the one who introduced this concept of one-year MBA in India. But if you think about it, or if you look at it right now, a lot of people in the industry actually tend to criticize this one-year MBA format. So how would you address that?
No, they can criticize. The proof of the pudding in the eating. Let us take our graduates. I don't want to say every 1 year school will be great. I do not want to say every 2 year school is not good. An IIM Ahmedabad is still an IIM Ahmedabad, whether it is 1 year or 2 year. And a Great Lakes will be 1 year or 2 year. We are also going to have the 2 year. The idea of 1 year is not just 1 year or 2 year. The 2 year students are all fresh graduates, no business experience, and therefore they need the internship, and therefore they need some sort of a digesting period. Whereas if I take people like you, who are 2 to 3 years of experience, and at the same time they don't need to have an internship. So, and the second summer is there, so it is only 18 months. The 14th, 15th month they get a job, and therefore why do you waste the time? So if you can compress that thing and create that 2 year is a minimum, and take people who are already knowing the fundamentals of business, and now you polish them with the superstructure, it will be an effective, and that is why they are performing very, very well. Okay. And that's exactly what
I must say, I've come a long way from my 2-3 years of experience.
Absolutely.
And I also want to talk to you about your involvement with the government, with the Indian government for propagating education within India. You were also in association, you collaborated with Sam Pitroda for the penetration of IT in various states in India, like Gujarat and Tamil Nadu and
fortunately, Sam Pitroda is a neighbor of mine in Oak Brook for the past 25 years. So even in the Knowledge Commission, I was a major input person. I am very much involved with Planning Commission. Montek Singh Alohwale is a genius. And of course, he understands how we can do certain things for poor, responsible poor. Similarly, this corporate affairs. So if I am able to bring the government, and at the same time the industry background with the industry thing, then there can be a unison of that. And that is why I want to make the Great Lakes spread all over the place in the India, east, west, and
do you
north.
think that in India we give a lot of emphasis to research and development? Because most of our education is, drawing emphasis on learning facts. Even Narayan Murthy, in one of his various lectures at Great Lakes that I attended, talk about how much we have a wealth of textual knowledge, but not really so much to do with the patents and research material. Yeah,
people did not understand, because probably before 1991, our horizon of the world was within India. Whereas when the economic liberalization, we have opened up to the entire world. And therefore, when the other, if US is trying to patent turmeric, US is trying to patent basmati rice, then how much time it will take for them to take all the good things from Kautilya's Arthashastra, and all the managements were really written so well. And therefore, we have to protect our intellectual capacity, and at the same time go out and make sure that it is propagated.
Correct.
Instead of people saying let a Harvard, or let us say some other university should come to India, I would like to put a Nalanda in New York. I want to put a Takshashila in Texas. I want to put a Pushpagiri in Pittsburgh. So we should be rather now be the intellectual knowledge capital for the world, and we should do this stuff.
And in fact, even if you take colleges like the Harvard University, where they have Eastern Asian studies, they do not have a lot of Indian
values and
ethics being professed in that particular
I think it is part of the problem is the government's lack of ability in lobbying it, and also probably the professors like me who is sitting there, our ability to persuade the US and the US educational system and the US industrial system to our values. Now they are able to see, hey, wait a minute, karmanyavadikaraste mahapaleshukata, you don't need to think for always a return on investment. All right, now only they are finding it long-term goals may be the better thing for sustainable profitability rather than short-term stock price appreciation every quarter. I think it is our job to propagate that thing, and I think the very fact that we have so many deans, there is a Nitin Noria in Harvard, there is a Sunil Kumar in the University of Chicago, there is a Deepak Jain at the staff, and there are many more deans are going to come who are all Indian origin fellows. And we will see in the next 5 years a tremendous amount of knowledge transfer from India to US as opposed to that.
Okay. And before we sign off, Professor, I know you encourage a lot of entrepreneurship. So as a sign-off word to all our viewers, can you tell us about how you want youngsters out there to go and embrace entrepreneurship and try to...
I think entrepreneurship is the best thing. It is always better to have wealth creation rather than wealth consumption. And similarly, it is always better job creation rather than job consumption. And that is why we have created with President Kalam inaugurating that and Orchid Chemicals putting that a sort of an entrepreneurial research center with innovation. And actually with the technology advantage that India has in terms of IT, it should be not only entrepreneurship, it should be a technopreneurship. Again, another word I have created. The technopreneurship or edupreneurship. That is entrepreneurship in the education space. Entrepreneurship with technology as a base. And as a matter of fact, next year we are giving a degree given by Illinois Institute of Technology for technopreneurship for people to study in India, in Chennai, in Great Lakes. So I think the world is changing, and I think entrepreneurship is the way. We could not have even conceived of a Dhirubhai Ambani about 35 years back, and now Mukesh Ambani, his son, and Anil Ambani, even though they were split, but they are together creating more value if they were together.
Correct.
So therefore, what is wrong with that? Even that is fine. If they want to fight, so long the shareholders are happy. So therefore, I have a feeling that there will be many more Dhirubhai Ambanis and others are going to come in addition to Ratan Tatas of established companies.
All right. So thank you so much, Professor Bala Balachandran, for joining us on Off the Record. If you have any feedback for us, please write to us as feedback@ndtv-hindu.com. Until I see you again next week, this is Divya Singaravelu signing off. Bye-bye.